Not believe how many times I've done that and not pressed record. Anyway, welcome to day three. But I just take everything else off the screen here so I can see all your pretty faces. Okay, so we're in day three. Let's take a breath and really come together. You very nearly had day three outside. If I had a lead that would to stretch long enough to my garden, you nearly had day three outside because it is such a phenomenal, beautiful, beautiful day here. So let's settle in and let's just, for a moment, okay? I want you to feel this, really feel it. You've made it. Every single one of you, you've made it. Whether you're watching here on replay, you've made it to day three, whether you're here live, and 3 days of showing up for yourself when the old version of you might have just found a reason not to. And that old version of me found reasons time and time and time enough. That old version of me wanted just tell me what to do. Just give me a quick fix. I'll get it sorted. Whereas now the version of you that you're becoming, your identity is starting to shift already. And that's that's a version of you that is inside you. You don't have to change anything externally about you. You don't have to change anything about you at all. You just have to allow that version of you to come to the surface. Because me, who I am now, she was always inside me. And watching back, oh my goodness, even watching back on those videos, and I have to update it, but watching back on that, no matter where I was, no matter what I was doing, I was still me inside. There was a version of me that was really wanted to, speak out. There was a version of me that really wanted to show up and to express myself. But my old programming and my old paradigms kept it quiet, kept pushing it down. You don't want to do that. You don't want to show up that way. You don't want to say it that. What are they going to think? What are they going to, what's the belief that they're going to have about you? Where now, going forward, the only thing that I concern myself about is me. And it's not coming from being selfish. And this is where I want to make that so clear. The only opinion that I am concerned with is the opinion of me sitting at probably, I always used to say 80. Now I'm saying, now I'm getting to almost 50. I'm saying the version of me sitting at 100, just making her proud. I'm going, yeah, you're doing it. And the version of me who's about 7, 8, or 9, making her proud. So before we even go into today, okay, I want you to take a few moments to honor you. Just honor you and who you are and how absolutely amazing you are. And even when someone had said that to me before, I was like, what are you on about? I couldn't have took a compliment. I couldn't have taken a compliment from anybody. If someone says to me, that's really fantastic what you have done, I would say, what, it's only 3 days. I've only shown up 3 days. But it's 3 days more than what anybody else has done. So I want you to let that land. So massive congratulations, okay? So day one, I'm going to take you back and have a little review. And today we'll probably slightly go over the hour today, but that's okay. Um, but we went on to day one, we went on to the concept that you hold of yourself. And as much as I love each and every one of you, you all have a concept of yourself. As much as I love the version of me now, I still have a concept of who I am now. So we went deep into that. We talked about the fact that you're always manifesting. Okay, not sometimes. Your magnet is switched on all the time. We may just be sending out double binded messages. We may say we want this, but then we're saying, how can I get it? We may say, I want to live there, but that's not possible for me. So, again, this is why when we really focus on the one thing and we have thoughts aligned with that, we have feelings aligned with that, and we take action aligned with that. Okay, we don't send out double binded messages. And this is what we looked at day one, really how the broadcasting signal was going, and the universe or God of your understanding, without any judgment or any favoritism, is matching that signal that you're putting out. And I was brought up in a household, as much as the amazing, absolutely phenomenal household with such a happy childhood and amazing parents and family. But I was brought up in a household with the belief system that you had to be a certain way to receive certain amount and a religious status, and that was fine. But whenever I have an understanding now that I don't have to be a certain way, I am enough being me. And what am I broadcasting? If I am broadcasting out that I am worthy, I am able to receive, I am so capable of achieving the dreams and desires that I want to have. What's that broadcasting out? And I'm going to get that signal matched back to me. So I always say, universe of God, it's either science or theology, one or the other, same results. So universe of God would say yes, always says yes. So if I say that I am tired, yep, Melanie's tired. Come on, give her something else to be tired about. Or if I say I'm really sick, I am, what I'm referring to, what I'm feeling, what I'm emitting from myself, God is always going to say yes. So if I'm sitting here now and saying that I am in debt and I have no idea how to get out of this, it's going to go, okay, Melanie's saying this, she's feeling it, and she wants more opportunities to feel that. It's not favoritism. But if I'm saying, and I'm reprogramming my mind to say that I am living in such a healthy, abundant, overflow, prosperity lifestyle, I'm going to get more opportunities in my life. So, what you're broadcasting, we went over in day one, without judgment of yourself or without favoritism, it's matching that signal that's coming straight back at you. So, we uncovered the stories, those amazing stories that has brought you to here. We discovered the old data. And I've always a pencil in my hand, I'm just realizing. We discovered the old data, we discovered the old programming, the narratives written in childhood that have been really quietly running your life ever since. And it's no one else's fault. It's no one else's fault. And we can sit and we can say, oh, I'm this way because of that in my life, or I am this is showing up for me because someone said X, Y, and Z to me. We can't change this morning. We can't change last week, and we cannot definitely not change who we were in the past. But what you have the ability to do is change who you are going forward. So who we are now, and we know and we understand the old stories. Everyone in our life has just been doing the best. They've coming from their programming, their perception, and your perception of life and your understandings of how you should live your life is different to every single other person's. So my perception and your perception is completely different. How I see the world and how you see the world is going to be different. How my husband sees the world and how my daughter sees the world is completely different. So how you and your partner sees the world is going to be totally different as well. So we uncovered these stories in day one. We looked into, day one was, if day one was about anything, okay, it was about this. You cannot change what you're not aware of. That, if I could just put it in one print, that's what it would be. And you became aware on day one. And how amazing is that? You're aware of it. We don't sit there, we don't judge ourselves, and we don't criticize. We become aware of it, and then we can change it. Okay? So then we looked at day two. And day two, we went into energy. We talked about our Wi Fi. Okay? We talked about the fact that everything is energy. Your thoughts, your words, your emotions, absolutely everything is energy. And the frequency that you're vibrating at, remember, you're the broadcasting station and you're also the receiving station. So you're broadcasting out and you're receiving back. So it's all circulation. Just imagine that. All right. And we looked at emotions, we looked at frequency, we looked at the vibration, we looked at the law of attraction, and we understood what the law of attraction really is. It's not just, you're not just attracting to you. What you're doing is that you're literally emitting that signal to bring it to you. You're vibrating at a frequency. So the vibration of the frequency comes from your thoughts, your feelings, and the actions that you're taking. That underlying, nobody else can hear it, but you can hear the wee voice in your head. You can say it a million times that I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am happy. But if you don't feel it in the underlying feeling of yourself in the depths of night when you're lying in your bed at night, that wee small quiet feeling and voice is what you are activating. So this is what we understood, okay? We give you 5 powerful, powerful tools. Okay, the morning state, the practice, the identity audit. We went into, what else did we do? We went into energetic boundaries. We went into assumption practice, and then we went into acting as if. Okay, and that's more the embodiment. And then if day two was about anything, it was about transformation is not just a mental shift. We looked at living on 3 planes, this amazing physical body that each and every one of you have been gifted, this body that you have been given, this vessel that you have on this planet while you're here. You're a spiritual being. And I remember Bob would have spoke very openly about you don't have a soul. You are a soul, expressing yourself in the physical form. So the spiritual being having this physical experience, pardon me, having this physical experience we call life with an intellect. And a lot of us thinks that we are just this mind. We are just this body with this mind. And whenever we talked about minds before, even for myself, when someone says to me what your mind was, I went straight into my brain. It is not. Your mind is operating in every part of your being, every part of your being. So that's what we looked at day 2. And the tools that we gave you on day 2, they were designed to shift your energy at the root. Now, I can guarantee you, when you're given these tools, we can say, I know how to do it. I know how to do it. I know how to manifest. I know how to shift the feelings. I know, but it's the practice, it's the action, it's the doing, the actual using the tools that I have given you that's going to shift your life. And I can say this from the truth that I have been given so many different tools in life. I have been given, a friend of mine gifted me every bit of personal development that you can possibly think of from all the greats in the world. And I was in Miami at the time, and he sent it down for me, and it was the most beautiful gift. And how much did I open it? Very, very little. Absolutely very little. I knew it was all there. If I need it, it's going to be there. And this has come back probably about maybe 4 years ago. And I had been handed it. So I can teach from experience that when you're handed something and you're given the tools, the old program can actually take back over again. So now we're in day 3 to shift that. Today is where it all comes together. But before we go into even the blueprint, I want you to give you the deepest teachings probably of the 3 days, because without this, the blueprint won't stick. Without it, the tools will fade. Okay? Without this, you can say, I know it, but you don't do it. And 6 weeks, you will probably be back to the same position, same pattern, same wondering why nothing has changed. And I don't want that for you. Okay? Why I do these events every month is the fact that this is what I needed when I was starting my journey. And the real understanding is that we go into the mind, what your mind really is, not just the thinking mind. That thinking mind is phenomenal, but this is the whole mind. And when you probably heard me talking about the subconscious and where the data and everything is gathered. So most people misunderstand about personal development. They think it's about positive thinking. Okay? Think good thoughts, feel good feelings, and get good results. And while there is a bit of truth in that, it can drive you absolutely insane. Because if you're feeling negative and you're going, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm thinking this. And I've been there. I've literally been there. And I was asking numerous times, well, how can I shift it? How can I sit and think good thoughts all day long? How can I shift from, the worry, or how can I shift from when something happens in my life? And the real truth is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. This is the real truth. We have one mind split in half, if you want to call it that. And they do not work the same way at all. They do not work the same way. So we have our conscious mind that we can think. It's your thinking mind. It is part of you that is here right now. It's part of you that's actually listening to this. It is a part of you that is processing everything that I'm doing. And when you're writing down and going back over the worksheets and doing stuff, that's your conscious mind. It's you understanding. Okay? It's a part of you that reads books. It's a part of you that thinks, I can do this on my own. It's a part of you that has a million books around you and that attends masterclasses, makes the decisions, sets intentions. Your conscious mind is brilliant. It is amazing. It is your reasoning mind. It's your goal setting mind. It's you sitting down in the morning to visualize. It was part of my mind that went out there and meditated this morning. Okay? But it is what most people do not know. Your conscious mind is only responsible for approximately 5% of your behavior. 5%. So that means 95% of everything that you do, every habit, every reaction, every pattern, everything automatic in your life, every response that you are doing, it's been run by your subconscious mind. So if your subconscious mind, this is where the default and the design comes onto. This is where the name of the program comes onto. So if 95% of everything that you do is running on default, your subconscious mind it's the one that we have to look at. It does not reason. Your subconscious mind does not reason. It doesn't analyze. It does not judge. It simply plays back what it has been programmed to play back. So that's why I say we go back into a lot of the programming and the paradigms, okay, in your subconscious mind. It's like a hard drive in a computer. And one of my mentors, and he was phenomenal, a man called Neil Donald Walsh, and he was the author of Conversations with God and Happier Than God. And I have many mentors throughout my life. I will still have many mentors throughout my life, and I will still always be developing myself as well. And he would have really broke it down into like whatever data is installed, that's the data it runs. So it's like I remember my brothers when I was younger had a game. It was called Sega Mega Drive. It was a grey box. I'm showing my age now. And it was a little cartridge of a program that pushed into the game, and you played the game, and you took that game out and you put another game in, and that really resonated with me because that's the data that's installed. So if you can imagine the game of your life, okay, you have put that cartridge in. That's where all that data is, okay, and most of that data has been installed in you before you were even 7 years old, before your conscious mind was able to think, before you had the capacity to filter what was going on, because your subconscious mind was completely open at that stage. Before you had the language even to question, is this right or is that wrong? And think about it like this: a lot of the times at that age, you just accept what you're told. You just accept because before we knew we had a choice. So the beliefs that you hold on to about money, they were formed before you were even 7. The beliefs that you hold on to about, what you're worth, who you're worth, what you deserve, what is possible for you, it's all a part of your learned behavior. They've all been formed before you've been that age. And your subconscious mind has been faithfully running that program ever since. So because you believe something to be true, you're going to see the evidence in your surrounding around you. You will work harder, you will force harder, you will push, but the results are going to still stay the same. Not because it wants to hurt you, okay? Your subconscious mind it's not because it wants to hurt you, but because it's its job. It's its job to keep you safe. It's its job to keep you familiar, because the subconscious mind, familiar equals safe. So when familiar is quietly maybe suffocating you, and for me to step out of who I was, what I was, how I was living, how I was showing up, it was absolutely groundbreaking, shaking, nervous, everything that I was doing that I had never done before. It floored me many a time. But my goal was so deeply ingrained in me and what I wanted and how I wanted to live my life and what I wanted to give my family and how I wanted to show up, and the passion that I had for each and every one of you to show you that you can have whatever life you want as well. So When we go back into the data, Melanie 7 years ago had started her journey, and I just a vision comes to me every time I think of who I was when I started my journey, what other people thought of me. I believed I was what everyone else thought of me. I was so concerned about other people's opinions about me. I was so concerned about what, how was I living life right? Was I doing it the right way? Was I being the proper mommy? Was I being the right, friend? Was I kind enough? What other people thought of me? But it's not what other people think of me. It is what I think of myself. And I have to be the best version of me. And it's not coming from ego, it's coming from knowingness. It's coming from worth. It's coming from being the best version of me, then to be the best version for my clients, for my family, for my friends, and for my children. So we put ourselves first and we grow and we develop ourselves then. So my daughter's not going to have any programs or paradigms. She's told every day how phenomenal she is. She's told every day how amazing that she shows up. So I want that to be her familiar programming. So this is why you can attend a masterclass, feel completely inspired, make all the decisions, and then 3 weeks later find yourself back in the same patterns. Because it's not it's not that you are choosing on a conscious level. It's because your subconscious is running the program. So for me to step out of the familiar of who I was and to step on stage and to speak, oh my God. I remember saying, okay, I want to speak in front of an audience. What's the biggest audience I can do? And at that time, it was a TED Talk. Within a few days, I got offered a TED Talk, but it had to be in 6 weeks. Normally, people have a year or 6 months to prepare. Nope, Melanie had less than 6 weeks to prepare. And it really stretched me. I couldn't even speak. I stuttered, I stammered, and I practiced and I practiced. But you know what? Coming out the other end of that, I was a different version of me. That's where the confidence has been learned by actually doing. And then stepping in now in my profession and coaching and walking into different businesses, whether it's into a boardroom, and the nerves still come up. But I remember myself that, okay, I know more about the mind than what they do. I'm here to serve a purpose. I'm here to help people get to where they want to get. So take myself out of it. Take the ego out. It's the ego that comes up and thinks, oh my goodness, what about you? What are they thinking about you? Doesn't matter. It most definitely doesn't matter. So this is why what is familiar for you, it's not weakness. It's not a lack of willpower. It is not that the information is wrong. It is that the subconscious mind, that part that is running 95% of your behavior, was never updated to what it is that you want. So the conscious mind says yes, and the subconscious mind says no, thank you. We're staying right here. We are quite safe. We are quite happy. So this is what Bob would have called a paradigm. Okay? You hear me saying program, paradigm, it's all pretty similar. So the paradigm is it's like a set of beliefs, habits, emotional patterns, and they're all stored nicely filed away here in the subconscious mind. And the paradigm has one job. That one job is to keep everything exactly as it is. And Bob even had a book out, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. And I love listening to it in Audible because it's in his voice. And I think it's one of the last books that actually before he transitioned. So I would recommend that. And I know I've been recommending a lot of books this masterclass, but it is what it is. So what do we do about it? If your paradigm is running 95%, okay, what do we do about it? This is where your higher faculties come into it. Because there is an extraordinary thing about being human. You are, oh my goodness, you're phenomenal. It's unlike any other creature on this planet. You have the ability to override your programming. You can change your programming. You have been given gifts that most people never fully use. And even as yesterday we were reading the Quantum Leap about opening our gifts, you have got your imagination. You have your intuition, you have your will, reasoning, perception, memory. These are all the higher faculties that we go into depths and teach. So even looking at your imagination, Neville Goddard, we spoke about even in the power of awareness. Neville would have talked about the imagination as the most important faculty. So I don't believe one is any better than the other because to me, your intuition, your imagination is you talking and saying what it is you want. And some people would say your imagination is you talking to God, and your intuition, that gut feeling, is God talking back to you. So listening to yourself, quieting down all the static around you and going within and listening to yourself. So he talks about every single dream. Every single dream could be realized by these principles if we believe them enough. Your imagination is not fantasy. We believe our imagination is to be as fantasy. Sitting in class, daydreaming. I remember so well just daydreaming, looking out the window, not wanting to be there, and stop daydreaming. Would have been shouted at. Concentrate, focus, concentrating you're right in front of you. And I would have been away in a wee land of my own. So this is where we are told at school to stop daydreaming. Your imagination is a creation tool. It is a faculty which you can actually reach your future. See the life that you desire through your imagination. And then you begin to draw that into the present. What you desire, okay, desires you. It wants you, your goal, your life, that end goal wants you as much as you want it. So it's like a magnet that's been pulled towards each other. So if you can speak about it in the present tense, you're igniting that attraction and drawing it to you. And most people use their imagination destructively. And even as we spoke yesterday, your imagination, you're imagining the worst case scenarios. We imagine being rejected. We imagine feeling. And I remember so well, it was a time we were in hospitality and we were closing one of our businesses. And I was sitting, and I mean, I was imagining the worst case scenarios. And I remember as well, I was sitting on a stool in one of the restaurants that we owned, and I had typed out a message for social media. And I'd sat, oh my goodness, the tears were running out of me. I was sick, I was nervous, everything. And I was sitting, I was ready, pressed and ready to say, and I was, oh my goodness, everybody's going to say this. Everybody's going to think that. Everybody's going to do this. And who were they? It was all made up in my mind. And I remember my hand shaking before I actually pressed send. And I remember all the stories that I was telling myself. I was really imagining the worst case scenario. And the outpouring of love that came after I sent that message. Yes, there's always people's going to have opinions, but other people's opinions are none of my business. And that's where I have come to now. Everybody has got their own opinions, and that's their own opinions. It is none of my concern. But at that time, I wasn't that aware. I was just in such a negative, low vibration of worry, of doubt, of fear, that all I was thinking about was worst case scenarios. And then we would have replayed the pain of the past instead of looking at the preview of the future. I could not, at that stage, even imagine where my life would have been now. And I go back to really, truly saying I couldn't even have put milk on the table at a stage with not that long ago to living how I'm living now, because I have decided to design my own life. I have studied and understood who I am, what I am, and this is my passion then to help each and every one of you do the same. So whenever you really, your mind, okay, you can't tell the difference between something that you vividly imagine and something that is actually happening. Your subconscious mind can't tell a difference. Your subconscious mind is just going to repeat the images that you impress upon it. So this is why most successful people in the world have always used like mental rehearsal. I mentally rehearse every day, absolutely every day. Before we moved to Manhattan, I walked those streets in my mind. I walked down to the school that I dropped my daughter off through Central Park in my mind every single day. I mentally rehearsed how I wanted to live. I have my full year mapped out in front of me now. And it may seem a lot of work, but it's not, because every single day you're just shifting who you believe yourself to be. I was so scatterbrained before, whereas now I have so much clarity. I have so much understanding what I want, where I want to be, and everything sometimes just happens. Being in the flow, to be able to not just be so focused on the physical. The physicals, yeah, the physical's great, but it's not just being so focused, because what you think that you can achieve, whether it's a home, whether it's a house, whether it's a location, there's always something so much bigger and better, because we are limited by our imagination. And even today, my husband, he's away for a month, October, November, I think it is. And I had planned right that time, I decide I want to be back in Ireland with my parents. And then I got a message just from my sister to say, in October, I'm planning to maybe go to Rome. Would you like to come with me and my mum? And I was like, of course. So when you really have this idea of how you want to live your life, it's being in the flow. Being in the flow and being you really disconnected from time and from the physical, and knowing that you really know that anything is possible for you. And this is where your intuition comes into it, okay? Your intuition is one of your higher faculties as well. And your intuition is one of the most underrated and underused faculties that you have. Sometimes you don't even listen to ourselves. Your intuition is your direct connection to something greater than your conscious mind. As I said, it's like your imagination is telling God what you want, and your intuition is getting an answer. But it's like the phone's just ringing off the hook all the time. You don't answer it. Your intuition would be always guiding you right. It's the first thing that comes to your mind. And then about 6, maybe 8 seconds later, your logic mind comes in and says, no, you don't want to do that. Your conscious mind ignites then. So if your intuition is telling you, maybe on the way to work one day, go left instead of going right, and then you ignore it, and you go, no, why would I go left for? I always go right. It's going to take me another half hour to get to work, or it's going to take me another 10 minutes, or there's no parking spaces over that way. But your intuition is guiding you. You have no idea what from or what it is. So whenever you are setting yourself up with your goal, whether it's your job, whether it is your next stage of your life, whatever it is, it may seem so illogical to follow your gut. Like most of us have been taught to override our intuition, to override our gut, to think it through. No, give me a week to think it through. Give me a day to think it through. And I was that person. Let me figure it out in my head first. But now I just go with my gut. I make decisions super fast. So fast. You can change them slowly later if you want. But whenever you're making your decisions so fast, you're going with your intuition. So many of us want to get more information. And that's the logic. The logic has its place, most definitely. And whenever we're really creating a truly extraordinary life, we have to learn to trust that voice that speaks before the logic arrives. Because the logic is always going to work it out. The logic is always going to want to keep you safe. And that's great. That is fantastic. It always wants to keep you in the familiar. But you don't want the familiar anymore. Your intuition will never, ever mislead you. Your fear might mislead you, but your intuition won't. Your old programming will definitely mislead you. Because you want to be over here, but your old programming is quite happily down here and wants to keep you down here. So your intuition, that deep, quiet, that knowing inside you, that's literally rising up inside you, that is always, always pointing you towards the truth. So I want you to ask yourself right now in this moment, like, what is your intuition telling you that you have been ignoring? What's that quiet voice been saying to you that, okay, the loud voice of your programming keeps drowning out? That can, you will feel it coming to the surface. And then you go, oh, go back in there. No, go back in there. Oh, just cracked my fingers. But because your intuition already knows the next step, your job is simply to trust it. And I'm not saying it's easy, okay? And it'll feel so illogical sometimes. But when you do, honest to goodness, you think, oh, how did I even get here? And then we've got our will, okay? Not willpower, the way most people understand it. Okay? Like not like white knuckling it your way through things, not forcing yourself to be disciplined. And even that, forcing yourself to be disciplined of like going to the gym and wooling yourself and pushing yourself and forcing yourself. It's not forcing yourself. Okay? True will is different. This journey is effortless. Okay? And that's one thing, the only thing I want to leave you with today. It can be effortless. It's what you believe it to be. So true will is the unwavering commitment to your vision. Even when the emotions are screaming otherwise, even when the paradigm is pulling you back, even when the circumstances look like evidence that that it's not working. If I follow through with the circumstances in my life thinking that I have to wait till something shows up, I have taken steps along my journey without having a clue how it was going to happen. And I mean, every footstep, they may have been wavering, they may have been shaking, they may have been going, holy moly, what's going on here? Even when everyone around me, okay, is maybe living on default, wondering what the hell is Melanie at? Why is she choosing differently? What is going on there with her? My will was a faculty that kept me on my path. Not because the path was easy, but because I had decided that on a deeper level, that I wanted to live a different way. There was nothing wrong with how I was living, but it wasn't working. It was breaking me. It was crumbling me. It was not the life of my dreams. So, because I decided at that deeper level, and other people around me hadn't decided, they're living on default, and that's okay. I love everyone for where they're at. But my will was the decision that stopped me going back. And it can be easy or it can be hard. It can be hard whenever people don't understand how quick you shift and how quick you change and how your vibration changes completely and how you're not available for maybe the conversations that you were available for before. Or maybe whenever, like, I changed everything about me, absolutely everything. I changed how I fueled my body, how I ate, how I showed up, how I changed it all. I changed the conversations. I changed the people, not purposely, but because my vibration changed, everything else around me changed as well. And this is where your emotional mastery has to come into it. And I want to be very clear that what I mean about emotional mastery. Emotional mastery does not mean that you stop feeling. Most importantly, it doesn't mean that you ignore. It doesn't mean that you suppress. Because anything that we suppress into the physical body is going to come out through illness, through sickness. Okay? So we don't suppress. It doesn't mean that you plaster a smile on your face and pretend everything is fine. I did that for years. If you knew me before, oh my goodness, I always had a smile on my face. Everything was great. Everything was brilliant. Oh, amazing. And I was crumbling inside. I was pretending. It doesn't mean that fear disappears. Oh my goodness, the things that I'm afraid of now is huge compared to even what they were before. But that's fine because I am developing myself. It doesn't mean that worry disappears or doubt disappears. all those feelings are still going to be there because you are a human. Okay? It's a human. My human comes out to play sometimes. And sometimes when fear comes up, and especially if I'm doing something that I haven't done before, or maybe making an investment or deciding to live somewhere different, or there is the human part of me comes out. And I honor that human part. And I understand that human part. And being human means that we have to feel. So emotional mastery is not about eliminating your emotions. It's about the speed that you become aware of them. So let me explain this a wee bit deeper. When fear comes, and it will arise, an untrained mind is going to get pulled into it. It believes the fear. It follows the fear. It makes decisions from fear. It maybe stays in the fear for weeks, sometimes hours, sometimes days, or even sometimes years. The trained mind that we are doing here, so the emotionally masterful mind, it notices the fear. It acknowledges the fear. And then it makes a choice about what to do next. Not from fear, but from vision. And this is what Bob taught us so powerfully. Successful people make the same fears as, makes the same decisions, okay? But not from fear. We all have the same fears. Every single one of us. We all have doubt. We all have uncertainty. We all feel the discomfort of being on something that's unfamiliar. The difference is you feel the fear and you do it anyway. They do not let any emotions make the decisions. I do not make a decision when I'm in worry, doubt, or anything like that. I make decisions. How would Melanie next year make a decision? We feel it and then we act anyway. So, what I'm saying here is that you will recognize when you're training your mind. And this is what we're doing. We're practicing, we're training our mind. I tell myself every day, I want to know within a millisecond when I'm thinking negatively. Whether it's about myself, whether it's about another person, whether it's about an event, no matter what, I want to know within a millisecond. Now, it might be a few milliseconds, but when I feel, and I maybe if it's a judgment towards something or someone or myself, it doesn't feel good. And I remove it straight away. Now, the thing that I want you to understand about emotion, really on a deeper level, emotion is just energy and motion. It's emotion. So when an emotion arises, okay, fear, worry, anxiety, doubt, it's simply energy that is moving through your physical body. It is not a life sentence. It is not the truth. It's just energy. And we can pick it up. So it's energy looking for somewhere to go. And when we resist it, when we push it down, when we suppress it, we pretend it's not there, it gets stuck. It becomes stagnant. And stagnant energy is in the body. Oh my goodness. It creates illness, it creates heaviness, it creates disconnection. So, what do we do with it? We move it, literally. And an example for myself, I was going through a grieving process, and I still am. And I lost a really close member of my family, my uncle, a few years ago. And it was not a nice experience. But I would have suppressed it. I would have felt the sadness and I would have felt it coming up to about here. And I actually felt it in real time, step by step. Thought of a seen a car similar to his, thought of him, felt the sadness, felt it coming up to here. And then I recognized myself go, taking a deep breath and literally pushing it back down again. So, what was the difference that I did after that? When I recognized it, I let it come up. I spoke it out. I cried it out. I still do. I wrote it out because you're allowing it to come out of the physical body. We're not suppressing it because we don't want that stagnant energy inside this physical body. So we can feel it, okay? So instead of sitting in it, what did I do? I moved my body, okay? I verbally spoke it out. Then I Oh, 1 wee second, just to open up these doors. So you let it out. There we go. Let it out through writing, through journaling, through dancing. And anytime you feel that heaviness, get outside, go for a walk with intention. Shake your body. I loved, my daughter had a trampoline. I loved having a trampoline. I would have jumped, literally been jumping, just shaking the physical body. And it's one of the most powerful ways to release that stuck energy is music as well. Dance, literally put on a song and dance, jump up and down, breathe, like proper breaths, like taking your deep breath work, that you're releasing it, not pushing it into the physical body. You're not running from the emotion. What you're doing is that you're moving the energy, you're moving through it. So it does not get stuck. So from that real state of feeling stuck, you release it and then you make your next decision. You make your decision from clarity, you make your decision from vision, from the identity of the person that you're becoming, not from fear. Not from fear, because there's something that I hear from people all the time. I know what to do. I know what to do. I just can't seem to do it consistently. And if that's you, I want you to know something, that there is nothing wrong with that. You may know what you're doing. There's a thing I call the know and doing gap. Okay? These steps are very, very simple. The steps are really simple. They can go into your conscious mind. You can accept them. You can reject them. Okay? You can visualize every single morning. You can journal everything out. You can do the steps, do the dancing, writing it out, act like the new identity. Even move the energy from when the emotions rise, and you can repeat it. It's simple, but it's not easy. And the reason that they're not easy is the programming, the old programming, your old paradigm. So the subconscious data that has been running for 20, 30, 40 years for me. I started my journey when I was 40. I've always delved into manifestation or crystals or Reiki or angel cards. I've always delved into all that. Listen to the podcast. It wasn't even podcasts then, cheekers. Throughout my whole life. As I said before, I watched The Secret from the minute it came out. I had it in DVD with a black pencil right over the top of it. My uncle James actually gave it to me. The Secret was right on it. And I did this for years and years and years and years. But whenever I properly started my journey, it was 7 years. I was almost 42. And that's when I started 7 years ago of really understanding the subconscious, what was running on default. And when you do have that understanding, really, really do have that understanding, it does not give you, your paradigm doesn't give up without a fight. Because mine was 42 years, my paradigm was 42 years old. Every single time that I tried to change, it pushed me back. It makes you feel tired when you try to get up early. It makes you reach for your phone instead of your journal. It makes the old habit feel comfortable, and that's okay. And we beat ourselves up and we criticize ourselves saying, why can't I do it? Because your old program is on default. It's not failure. It's a paradigm doing exactly what it is designed to do, to keep things the same. And the only way to override that is repetition. Repetition, repetition, repetition. And it's the most beautiful word that I will ever say today is repetition. It is how the subconscious mind learns. My subconscious mind changed through emotional impact. The very start of my journey, that's how I get into this material, was emotional impact. Emotional impact can be the like of a loss of a loved one, a closure of a business, a birth of a child. It can be good, it can be bad. Mine was emotional impact, probably in the most negative way. And that's how I started studying this material. But then I changed my life through repetition. Repetition is how the subconscious mind will learn. It's not just one powerful experience. It's not just one breakthrough moment, not just this one masterclass, but repetition day after day after day, the same thoughts, the same practices, the same identity led decisions that you're having. over and over and over again until the subconscious mind finally accepts it's you. You only have to do something until you don't have to do it anymore. This is a new normal. And then everything changes. Not because you forced it to, okay? But because you were consistent enough for long enough. And the new identity became the path of least resistance. So this is why showing up for yourself every single day is not, it's not nice to have, but it's a foundation. It's a foundation of everything. And when we show up every single day, and if we miss a day, that's fine. Just get back on it. Never miss more than 2 days. Ever. Right through Christmas Day, through vacations, through holidays, I showed up for myself every day until it became natural. Now, I wake naturally at the time that I set out. I show up, it's part of who I am. Sitting down in the morning, having a green tea or a matcha or a herbal tea, having my journal in front of me, it's not just nice to do, it's who I am. I can't not do it anymore. It's the likes of, if I says to you now, okay, stop walking, you can't just stop knowing how to walk because you've used that on repeat through as a child, continuing to do something every single day. And this is how habits are built. It's a difference between lasting transformation and a temporary high. So many of us can have a temporary high. Look what I've done. I've done this. I've manifested that. This is complete transformation. It's about having these results on a daily basis, expecting this. This is a reason that trying to do the work alone by yourself is so hard. Because whenever you're doing it alone, and I tried it for years. Oh my goodness, I tried it for years to do it on my own. And every single time the paradigm pushed me back. Listening to, whether it was Jay Shetty, whether it was Bob, whether it was The Secret, whether it was Law of Attraction, I tried to grab it from here, here, and here, and here, and here. There has to be the way to do it, must be in something here. So every time that life gets loud, the journal maybe doesn't get opened. Every time that you have an event, the thought changes. This is not working. There's nobody there to say, yes, it is. Stay the course when you're trying to do it on your own. So this is where I always say I was doing this alone for years. I'm doing this in personal development now with a coach myself. I will always have a coach, but I started out with Bob. I went into being certified with Bob. I was certified with Jay Shetty. I was certified in all these different courses over and over and over and over again. Okay? I was understanding every concept, and still at the beginning, the paradigm kept winning before I started the journey with my coach. So it's not because my coach was extraordinary. It's because having someone beside you. Doesn't matter whether it's me or whether it's someone else, but having someone beside you that holds the vision for you. So this is what I want to really, for you to take away today. And it's not a sales pitch, okay? But a genuine invitation. I have spent 7 years studying and living this work. 7 years of Neville, of Bob, of Jay, of like the science of getting rich, really understanding it, working with people and individuals and companies, watching them transform, understanding what works and what doesn't work. I have taken all of that, okay, all of it, and I bring it into even working 6 months with you. 6 months of deep transformation, 6 months of tools, practices, accountability, because of you, okay, because you have made a decision. And I was there, literally there, exactly where you are now. But I'm here to hold the space for every single one of you to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. Exactly what you want to achieve. So this is where we're really talking openly and honestly. Yes, I want to help each and every one of the people that comes into my life. But I can't help them unless they're in a program. And that is my purpose, my path, my journey. And this is where the blueprint comes in. So I want you to go today with a blueprint a blueprint of where you're going, a blueprint of how you're showing up. So if you've got your journal today, I want you to grab your journal. I know we're going to be going slightly over the hour today, but I want you to grab your journal because I want you to get your vision. Okay? I want you to write your ideal life in vivid, I mean vivid present tense. Really clear, emotionally alive, really feel that description that you have of your life. Where are you living? Let's jump forward even 6 months. Where are you living? What does your morning look like? What work are you doing? What does your relationships feel like? And I mean crystal clear. I had it even down to the stones. If I could even turn that around, you probably wouldn't even be able to see. Let's see. The stones out there in my driveway. I had it right down to to the stones. The sound of the gravel under my foot, and I pulled my lead out. The sounds of the gravel under my feet. So this is how much I want you to get that blueprint. How does your body feel? What does your bank balance look like? How do you feel whenever you wake up every morning? How do you feel as you write it? I want you to use your imagination today. The faculty that we talked about today at length. Not just coming on to this masterclass and listening to more information. I want you to put it into practice now. Really put it into practice. Even for the next 30 days. Okay? Really to make it so vivid that if you were to write it on a piece of paper and you were going to hand it to me, I would go, oh my goodness, I can feel it, I can see it. You have so much clarity. And you have to get into the, as I say, the delulu. You literally have to go into the delusion that it's done. Don't even ask the how. We don't ask the how. Because that's your logic mind is trying to work it all out. So you get a really good, strong identity statement. You write one powerful paragraph. I am the woman or man who, and then let the fullest version of you write those words. No filter, no playing small. Most definitely, you don't edit it. Read it out loud. Even when you're alone, read it out loud at least once, twice, 3 times a day. I am a woman who. I am a woman that believes that everything is effortlessly. Money flows to me on a continuous basis. I travel, I live my life, and just let it all flow, what that may be for you. Okay? And then when we're going to even look at the next 30-day blueprint, okay, I want you to look at the one area of your life that you're most committed to transforming. What is that one area of your life over the next 30 days that you're committed to transforming? Just the one area. We're not going to get overwhelmed because we can say, oh, I want to change this, I want to do that, I want to do that, and then you get overwhelmed and you don't do any of it. So we're going to look at one. All right? One area of your life and just write it down. Whether it's health, relationships, finances, job, your team, whatever that is, just even write it down. And then the second part of this, I want you to look at the 3 most powerful actions that you will take in the next 7 days. The 3 most powerful actions. Okay? And then the third part of this exercise, I had to write them down here. So the third part of this exercise is the one thing that you have been avoiding, that you know, okay? You know if you've been avoiding, if you did it, it would change everything. Is it making that phone call, sending that email, asking the question? Like, what is that one thing that you've been avoiding? Maybe it's speaking on camera. Maybe it's, submitting the book. You've no idea. I want you to write it down and then I want you commit. Not in your head, okay? Not on your head. I want you on paper in your own handwriting as a declaration to yourself and to the universe or God that you're committing to do this. So, exercise 4, this is why it's so good. Your daily non negotiables. So, you've got daily non negotiables to move forward with. So, I want you to write down 3 practices that you're committing to every single day from this moment forward. Your morning visualizations, we spoke about 5 minutes minimum. Your evening identity shift, we talked about that yesterday, the audit, 5 minutes. Your energy practice, movement, music, breath, trampoline, running up and down the garden, whatever that may be. Whenever any old emotions rise, that you step into your energy practice. These aren't optional, guys. You're here for a reason. You follow these steps, and I 100% guarantee you follow exactly. The work works when you do it. These are the repetition, these are the reprogramming of the subconscious mind. These are the foundation of your desired life. When you write them down, you put them somewhere, you will see them every single morning. I had literally stuck to the side of my bed. If it's a habit that you have at the moment, lifting your phone, put them as a screensaver in your phone. So as soon as you open your phone in the morning, screensaver, boom, just reminding yourself. So before we close today, okay, I want you to do one final thing together. I want you to even just close your eyes for a second. Just close your eyes and take a breath. And I want you to travel forward 6 months from now. You've done all the work. You've showed up every single day. 6 months for the rest of your life. You chose yourself, even on the hard days. Even when the paradigm pulled you back. Even when life got really loud. Where are you? Where are you? What has transformed in your relationships? What has transformed in your work? And the way you see yourself? How do you feel whenever you wake up in the morning? I want you to see that version of you. I want you to feel that version of you. I want you to be that version right now, in this moment. Because that version of you is not fantasy. You have thought it. They are you. They have always been you. They were you before the noise, before the stories, way before the world got their hands on you. And they've never left you. They've just been waiting very patiently for years for you to finally say yes. Say yes to yourself. And today you say yes. So I want you just even to close these last 3 days, okay? From my heart, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for trusting me over the last 3 days. Because these 3 days have been very important for you. I do not take it lightly at all. I know what it took to show up. I know what it took to look at yourself honestly. And even sometimes at the beginning, the first day, looking at yourself honestly, it'd be very easy not to show up again. I know what it took to do the work. The kind of people spend their entire lives avoiding. I spent so much of my life avoiding it. But you're not most people. Just remember that you're not most people. You're the person who showed up themselves, that chose themselves, and who is ready now to step into the next version of you. So don't let the old stories keep you waiting for any longer. Don't let that paradigm keep you comfortable. Do not let another year pass with that version of you that has been so in the background. Ken, I am my absolute pleasure. I am so happy. Yeah, we can take over the world. It is your world. It is your perception of how you want it to be. So your repetition starts today, guys and girls. The commitment starts today. So the design life starts today. And it's easy for us to turn around and say, right, I'll start next Monday. It's Saturday, I'll start on Monday. Your goal has no idea whether it's Monday, whether it is Sunday, whether you're on vacation or holidays, whether it is Christmas Day. Okay, all those days are made up. So it starts today, not when you feel ready. Okay, from this moment forward, you're no longer manifesting by default. You're manifesting by design. So if any of you are ready or willing to, with the support, if anyone wants any one-on-ones or any questions about goals or anything that they don't feel comfortable with talking on live or here on Zoom, drop me a message. I'm more than happy to have a one-to-one with anyone that's been here live or even watching the recording, just to get you more clarity and ready to shift. So I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining. I believe in each and every one of you, and I will see you on the other side of an absolutely extraordinary life. So have the most beautiful day ahead. Take care. Love to you all. And your replays will be in your inbox probably by the end of the day. Okay? Have a great one. Lots of love.